just wish he knew.
If you ever watch build videos and see that you need to reset your level up to 6 times and worry that it's maybe too much work, or perhaps you've watched several videos and they all use different mods, so now that you're worried about making a permanent change to a socket only to find out that it's no longer meta, well, I have the video for you. I've been preparing budget builds for Descendants and weapons requiring no catalysts. This video will go over my Budget Thundercage that I've currently got to 300,000 plus DPS at around 30 to 35% crit rate. Let's start off with where to get the Thundercage. Your first Thundercage will be given to you just for completing the missions in Sterile Lands, and upon crafting it you'll receive a second one for free from a quest in order to teach you about improving the passive effects of legendary weapons. The last 3 you'll need to farm with a 20% drop chance from these missions. The passive effect of the Thundercage is why it should be your first weapon to work on. When it's maxed out, it will have a 100% chance of causing an electric explosion on killing a mob. This makes clearing groups of mobs much easier. Before you go ahead and condense all your Thundercages into upgrading one, you should check all your substats just in case you rolled one that has any of these in gold. Critical hit rate, critical hit damage, firearm attack, or weak point damage. Since the Thundercage isn't the best weapon for the void bosses, I'd opt to not run extra damage on a Colossi, but since our mods aren't leaning towards weak point damage, you can probably replace that roll for Colossi damage if you wanted to, or possibly an elemental damage. The mods we're going to be running are a maxed out rifling reinforcements, this gives you extra firearm attack, a maxed out better insight for extra crit rate, a maxed out better concentration for extra crit damage, a maxed out action and reaction for extra firearm attack, but unfortunately at the cost of extra recoil, a maxed out insight focus, this is again for extra critical hit rate and extra critical hit damage, a level 1 concentrate support ammo, this gives you a tiny bit of rounds per mag, but a little bit extra critical hit damage, an unleveled weak point insight for extra weak point damage and critical hit rate, and an unleveled hit rate insight for a tiny bit extra accuracy, but more importantly that tiny bit of firearm crit rate. In total, our Thundercage will have just shy of 34% critical hit rate with a critical hit damage of 4.49 times. We're sitting at almost 23,000 firearm attack with a tiny bit of extra weak point damage at 1.296 times. Yours will be higher if you roll weak point damage on the substats. Unfortunately, I've not got lucky enough for the last roll yet. Please don't forget this is just a budget build where you work towards more advanced builds for either different weapons, Descendants, or maybe you're just working on a little bit more time on collecting resources to really push your Thundercage further. The point of this video is just to help anybody confused by all the different builds out there, or for anyone who's not quite ready for the grind of catalyzing on repeat. This weapon as it is will allow you to farm overworld content and missions within hard mode, though I don't think it's going to be strong enough for hard mode void bosses. I am hoping to start working on budget builds for every Descendant that has an ultimate variant, that way you can save all the grinding when you actually achieve the ultimate version instead. If that interests you, or if this video helped at all, please consider subscribing, liking and commenting down below for the algorithm. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye.